Hey guys, I'm back again with another video. So this is where I'm at in my current fish tank situations. So I was deciding between the 20 long and the 15 gallon, and I had decided to go with the 15 gallon because I thought it would ultimately be the most different. Like I mentioned in the previous video, the 20 long essentially seemed to be like more of the same. If you, like I said, if you add another 18 inches to the size, to the length of the tank, it wouldn't have been the 33 long again. So I figured I would try something different. And go with this little 15 gallon tank. Just enough to have a small little planted tank, and then I can have it. I can't talk. I can still have a group, small little school of fish. I think that's good enough for me for now. But yeah, I got the tank. Obviously, I bought that a while ago. But I also recently purchased the stand. I got this from PetSmart about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And the thing I liked about it, so this is a stand that is 30 by 15 by, well, this part really don't matter, but so basically it supports tanks up to 37 gallons, as you can see, which I'm not going to put a 37 gallon tank on there because it's ridiculously tall. But I like the fact that the stand is a multi dimension stand. Essentially, you can have a 20 long in the stand, you can have a 20 high in the stand, you can have a 15 gallon, you can have a 29 on the stand, and basically any other tank that's smaller than that, you could put a 10 gallon on the stand. So I felt a lot more productive in a sense of the fact that, like, okay, if I set up the 15 gallon and I don't like it, instead of getting a really expensive ass stand for the 15 gallon, which is basically only limited to that footprint essentially, and if I don't care for it, basically you're out of luck, So that was kind of I was kind of over that. See, like, see the stand here? This is the stand for the 33 long. Obviously, you can fit multiple different, variations of the same footprint on the stand. But that's it. I was able to fit the 40 long in here, obviously, and then I also put the 55 on here. And then, I mean, technically, you could probably even do like that weird 60 high tank. So yes, you get multiple different footprints or multiple different variations of the same footprint of tank on this kind of stand, but that's it. This, you are not limited to that. Essentially, like I said, you can have any tank on the stand as long as it's 30 by 12 and under. So that's that was pretty cool, and I did get it on sale. After taxes, it came out to be like $130, which is a lot cheaper than this variation in the stand for this size tank. They wanted, after tax, it probably would have came close to $200, and I'm not trying to spend that kind of money. I'm basically trying to do this as a budget style tank. Basically, so far, the only money I've spent is the money for the tank, which is around $40, and then this, and that's it. So I have a light that I will currently use when I set up the tank. The light that used to be with my dad's tank, because that light is 20 inches long and this tank is 24 inches. So technically it'll fit up here until the time being when I decide to purchase another lighting. Oh, and this is pretty cool too, because I had these glass tops around from the 33 long. One of those glass tops will actually fit up here. So bang, here's some more money I don't have to spend. I'm just amazed that it actually fit up there, but I wasn't sure if I was going to do glass tops or not anyways, but yeah, I mean, anyways, I like this tank. It's a neat little footprint. One of the things I do like about it is the fact that you don't really see 15-gallon tanks done anywhere, mostly because people are usually grabbing up to 20 longs, which is basically very similar. Just add another 6 inches here and you'd have a 20 long. Or people usually do like the 20 high, which is the same footprint as this as well, but you add about 4 inches. So this is 24 by 12 by 12, and the 20 high is 24 by 12 by 16. So like I said, you add 4 more inches, you'd have a 20 tall. So but yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm thinking about trying something different. I want to do a simple planted tank, just enough to get me by. I like the whole planted tank thing, but I'm kind of over having a large tank, even if it's a tank with a smaller volume that still has a large footprint, like the 33 long. The 33 long is not technically a large tank, but it has a larger footprint for the volume that it is. I'm just kind of over having to fill out the entire tank and really stretch the kind of scape. I really kind of want to focus on a small, compact, little nano type scape without being too small, if that makes sense. I was basically looking for a tank that was kind of similar to a 10-gallon, but not as small, if that makes sense. Which is one of the reasons why I went with this tank. So, looking back on the videos of my dad's tank, I mean, it looked pretty cool, if you ask me. I mean, so, and plus, it'll be pretty easy to filter, as far as I know. I can probably just have one Aqua Clear 50 right in here, and that'll be good enough. So, that was one of the, that was another frustrating detail about having a really, really long tank. It seemed like no matter what I did, I was never able to get enough flow in there or enough filtration. The sand would constantly be filthy. And it's funny because when I had my dad's tank, which was a 10-gallon, a small little tank with a small little compact area, his tank was never dirty. Even though he had white sand, the sand was never filthy. I mean, maybe it turned a little bit of color, but it wasn't like filthy, disgusting looking. So, and I battled that on and off for years. I'm hoping maybe I'll have the same kind of luck with that. And I don't know if I'm going to do sand or what I'm going to do exactly yet. So, I mostly kind of just want to have fun with this tank. So, I'm thinking about trying to do possibly maybe crypts only. Even less maintenance, even better. So, but given the tank is so small, if I throw crypt Valencia in there, it might get kind of big. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I'm gonna do. So, I'm gonna stick to a few species of plants, at least, anyways. That kind of like I used to do. But I'm definitely gonna load it with lots of crypts. So, I think that's about it. I think that's about all I got going on. Yeah, the lighting, like I said, I'm planning on using the Phoenix Stingray 2 light fixture I have from my dad's tank, and I'm planning to buy the proper size lighting eventually. When I get more money. The 24-inch lighting, crazily enough, is not really that expensive. It's just, like I said, I'm trying to keep this on a budget scale. So, if it's not something I need immediately right now, I'm going to skip it. I might just get a regular Phoenix Stingray fixture, kind of like the one I had for my 33 long, but, the smaller version would be 24 inches. And I don't know why, but it's weird. If you look on Amazon, like I said, the Phoenix Stingray fixtures for this size, tank, the 24-inch footprint, really aren't too bad. They're around like $50, maybe a little bit under $60, but if you look at the 30-inch version, like for a 20 long, they like jump up considerably. I mean, they're like $70 or around there. It's like, why is this? I mean, you're talking about literally only like a 6-inch difference. Why is this so much more expensive? Maybe because that's a more common size so they figure they can get more money out of it. I don't know. But that was another reason why I kind of didn't really also want to do the 20 long. I want to keep it, like I said, on a more budget scale. So far, all I spent under $200 for the tank and the stand, so that's pretty good. I don't know if I'm going to use this piece of driftwood or another piece of driftwood. This might be kind of too big in there. I might kind of try to find a few small pieces of driftwood. I live in Michigan, so if you're familiar with the Myers stores, they're like a retail store like like Walmart, and they've ironically started carrying small pieces of driftwood in their pet section, like $5. But they're pretty small in size. They're a lot smaller than that. So I might be able to find a couple of cool pieces that would be much more fitting to the size tank. We'll see though. I'm still planning what I'm gonna do. So, all right, guys. I think I'm out. I ain't got. That's it. That's all I got. All right, I'm out. Peace. Happy Easter, by the way.